right. Good evening, everybody. Just let me get my microphone on. Saturday here in New York. It is February 25th, 2023. Hope everybody has had so far. Guys, listen, today it was actually snowing for a little bit in New York. Not any accumulation though. I would say, maybe a dusting, maybe. It was kind of nice, I'm not going to lie, to sort of see the snow falling in New York City. Now, if you guys remember correctly, I called this, okay? I called this to a T. When we were in Miami, I said, look, the moment I get back to New York, I guarantee it's going to snow. It happened last year. It was the same thing. It always happens. Every time that, I spend some of the winters in Miami, every time I come back to visit, within the week, within the couple of days, it snows without a doubt. So, I think it's going to warm up a little bit tomorrow. I think it's going to be about 50 degrees, so we're going to get back to normal. I think as of recording this video live here in New York, it's about 28 degrees. But team, tonight, we are actually going to be walking downtown to the Village. Yes, we are going to be going to Greenwich Village tonight, which I'm very excited about because pretty much every day this week since we've been back in Manhattan, we've been exploring Midtown, Billionaires Row in the 50s and the 30s. We really haven't gone below 24th Street. So I kind of want to do that today. It is Saturday night, so keep that in mind that, the Villages should be crazy. A lot of people should. So without further ado, everybody, let's get started. First, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. GGNYC, good to see you, my friend. Austin City Limits, all of our good moderators. Welcome to Walks in Wall Street. Let us head outside of the WeWork office for a moment and we will get started. I'll just close up shop here. For those of you who haven't seen it before, this is the office. Kind of have a kitchen right here. We have another kitchen downstairs. It's pretty big. There's a lot of companies in here. I think there was a little bit of a statistic they posted in the community room here. I think there's over 100 companies that work out of this WeWork office alone. So it's kind of cool. Just gives you a glimpse of just how big the city is, how entrepreneurial people tend to be in this city. A lot of different startups and even some pretty big companies too. I see John is here. Good to see you, my friend Bree Grams. Welcome, welcome. 444 Truth Teller. This is Tom checking in. It's been a minute. It has been a minute, dude. Where you been? It's good to see you. Now, hold that thought because the internet is sometimes a little bit squirrely in the elevator here. Valor Rabbit, welcome. Joe Driver. Billy is here. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Gary Carpenter. I see Hollywood Bob, Richard Vogel, Victor's here. Good to see you. Mr. Perez says, Tom, the Village is super busy on Saturday night. Love that. Dan Zhang. What's up, Dan? Good to see you guys. Hawaii is here. Welcome. Let me make sure my jacket is zipped up. Yeah, I got the jacket. I got two hoods on. Ooh, yeah, it's cold. Team, it is cold out tonight. Here we are, East 31st Street, Madison Avenue. But you know what? Even though it's cold, it's a pretty clear night out. Now, if you remember the last couple of days we've been streaming, you almost couldn't even see the top of the Empire State Building. You couldn't see the top of One Vanderbilt at all, actually. So tonight, now that the clouds have sort of rolled through, it should be pretty clear. Now that we're going to walk downtown, so we're going to spend a lot of time in the Village. But if we do have enough time, and depending on how long my phone's battery lasts, because, as you guys know, as it gets colder, the battery drains a lot faster for whatever reason. But I want to try to make it all the way downtown, the Lower Manhattan. Now, there's a new building, well, I should say relatively new, right? It's not brand new, but new enough. It's called 130 William, okay? And 130 William is my new favorite residential apartment building in Manhattan. Now, we may have walked past it before. I may have told you guys about it a couple times, but if you haven't heard about it and you're interested, just give it a quick Google search. It's a really, really unique building. Now, the thing that's really drawn me to that building is the uniqueness of the windows. Okay, so if you think about the proximity of 130 William, you're right in Lower Manhattan. So if you get an apartment on a very high floor, right, and you're facing south, you know, not only can you see the beautiful Brooklyn Bridge, but you get to see the Manhattan and the Williamsburg Bridge as well, all of downtown Brooklyn. So hopefully we'll be able to get down there tonight. I see Taxi Cab. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Says Tom, do you have an extra battery pack? I do, but I think it's just too cold because and windy. We have to plug in the microphone, so I can't do two simultaneously. But now, team, we are on the corner of East 33rd Street, Madison Avenue. You were looking at the Empire State Building, lit up in classic white tonight. Hey, Fred X, good to see you. Hawaii is here. Jumpman Dad says hello from McKinney, Texas. You know, it's funny. Soho is like 130 William is really nice. You know, Soho, I think you put in the comments that you were looking to sell your loft in Soho and maybe you were interested in looking at 130 William. But yeah, anyway, I mean, tons of amenities in there. It is like a very, very high-end building. I think the other thing that I really like about it is I believe they have a saltwater swimming pool, state-of-the-art gym, sauna. And it seems as if, I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but it seems as if a lot of these brand new luxury style buildings that are going up, it seems that they're all competing with each other, right? It's, you know, who could outdo who in terms of the amenities. And we really see this in Miami as well. You think about the Paramount Tower. I think they have over 3 swimming pools just in that one building and over 5 gyms. It's kind of crazy to think about, but hey, who knows? Lena Sandoval is here, says hello, Tom. Good to see you, Lena. I see Line Sync is here joining in from the UK. Rogue Dog, Sanjib, Ryan Beck. Good to see you, sir. Welcome. So Ryan, the chat was going way too crazy. We just stepped over another rat, by the way. The chat was going too crazy the other night. I think I saw you posted that you just closed on a condo. Is that right, or was I hallucinating? If so, dude, I would love to hear more about it, and congratulations on your closing. That's awesome. I see my friend Gregory, also our good moderator. What's up, Greg? Luigi says hello all. What's up, Luigi? Thanks for being here. Tom from Midtown. What's up? Says, hey, Tom, 130 William is stunning with a unique hand-cast concrete exterior. Yeah, it really, really caught my eye. Now, I'm trying to think of the first time I found out about the building. Now, funny enough, I think it was from YouTube, actually. I think it might have been, or maybe I got an email from a New York City real estate agent. I forget. But it's an awesome building. Now, I was looking at an apartment for rent in there. Now, granted, it was a studio, so very small, but the views of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and the Williamsburg Bridge, honestly, I can't even describe it. You guys got to see it for yourself. It's almost so beautiful, it's indescribable. This is Little Italy Pizza here. It's all right. I give it like a 6.2 out of 10. It's open 24 hours a day, though. You know, for those of you who are, you know, maybe college students going out to the city partying, if you're out late in Koreatown, which is 32nd Street, just know that this place is open 24 hours a day. And here we are, right at the Empire State Building. Hey, Ryan Beck says, thanks, Tom. I just went under contract. Won't close for another month, I think. It is currently occupied by a tenant, but great spot in the general area. I wanted, everything you wanted. Nice, man. Very cool. Awesome. That's exciting. That is exciting, my friend. Yeah, I wish there was a way for YouTube, and I think we were talking about this on a previous live stream. If I had a recommendation for some of the developers or some of the devs of YouTube, wouldn't it be cool? And because it's Saturday night, guys, we don't have a topic in relation to the financial markets. This is sort of our day off, so we're just going to kind of kick it and have a good time. The devs should integrate something into the live chat where people could, upload photos or memes or something like that. I think it'd be really helpful. Now, granted, depending on the type of community you have on YouTube, I think it, could get pretty degenerate. But I think for what we have here, it'd be useful to, share photos and things like that. I would love to see what the condo looks like. John says, dude, I can't find a good pizza place in Manhattan for like years now. Dude, there's some of the best pizza in the world here, my friend. Here's what we'll do. Let's walk up to 34th Street. We'll do a lap around the Empire, and then we'll head down to the Village. Just because I'm very curious about something coming up on the left-hand side. I want to see how packed this Starbucks Reserve Roastery is. Hey, sunshine after rain. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Dan Zhang, what's up? Really? Dan's like, Tom, I just realized I haven't had a slice of pizza since COVID? What? How is that impossible? Now, I do have to plug something for you guys, but it's a good place. In all disclosure, my friend is the head chef at the restaurant. It's called Mel's, so M-E-L-S. This is the Starbucks Reserve place that is in the Empire State Building. It looks kind of packed, kind of crowded for a Saturday night. Some impromptu market research, but if you're looking for like the Neapolitan style, it's an expensive place. It's not like a pizza joint. It's like a sit-down restaurant, very unique. I would highly recommend it, but it's on the pricier side. I'll just say that. But if you're looking for a place, very good Italian spot. It is, I want to say 18th Street and 10th Avenue. So sort of right in the Chelsea Market vicinity. I actually went this week. It was pretty good. Really, really good. I took some clients there. Hey, TD, Teresa Diaz is here. Good to see you, Teresa. Now, was it you? I think you sent me something on Twitter that in California it was actually snowing today. It seems like it was snowing almost everywhere across the country. It was snowing here in Manhattan. I was walking on the Upper West Side. Where was I? I was on 79th Street. I actually went to a coffee shop there. It's called Irving Farm. And it was coming down. It wasn't like a blizzard, but it was coming down. No real precipitation, didn't really stick. Cosmo's scary. Oh, Cosmo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Just Tom is missing that Miami weather right now. To be honest, I was. Now here's the interesting thing, and let me know if you guys agree or disagree. It's not really about the cold, kind of, what I've noticed, right? I mean, you guys know, if you're from New York, you're kind of used to the cold. For me, it's just the wind and like the gray, the classic Long Island gray sky every single day of the winter. That's sort of what gets me down. Like today it was kind of nice with it snowing, but if it's just going to be cold and nasty and gray, that's kind of where my gripe is. But yeah, today it was 81 degrees and sunny in Miami, so talk about a big difference. Hey, Christina, this is Tom. I love Luna's. Luna's restaurant in Little Italy. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that. I'm trying to think about where that is, because I've walked Little Italy, I mean, my God, dozens of times. I'm trying to think of where that might be. Hey, speaking of Miami, look who we have in the chat. We have War Walker, one of my best pals. Good to see you. Bree Graham says, hey, I miss nasty gray days too. There's too many bright days in Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know. I just love the sun. I feel like I have more energy every time I'm in the sun. Who knows? Al Baker, what's up? Says, yeah, I hate the steel gray looking weather. But guys, let's actually reframe. I'll give you guys a pretty good reframe. Okay. Here's the reframe. Next week is the last week of February. We are now into March, which is fantastic. Oh yeah, I think that guy's upset about there's a lot of theft. People walk in the stores, they take stuff, and no one really does anything. So I think he's a little bent out of shape on that. Totally understand. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But more importantly, team, here we are, 34th Street, Herald Square, right on the corner of 34th and 6th Avenue of the Americas. We are outside of Macy's, the largest store, the world's largest store. D, what's up? Good to see you, D. Welcome. Oh yeah, I was talking about March. Yeah, March is here, guys. That means, you know, April is right around the corner. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to see all the trees blossoming, if that's what you call it. We're going to see the flowers blooming. And winter's in the rear view mirror as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't really want to get too much into the Wall Street topics tonight, but, you know, I think you guys already know what I'm going to say. It is the first week of the month next week. So that means the first business day of the month, we are going to hear probably the most important leading economic indicator there is. Okay, and that is the Institute for Supply Management PMI numbers. That is going to be coming out on Wednesday. I think this guy's still hollering. Well, I think that's our cue to bang a left and head to Greenwich Village. I'm excited about it. The Village is probably going to be amazing tonight. Hey, Hollywood Bob, Zozo Bob is here too. Welcome. Now, as we round the corner here, if you look dead ahead, you could see the beautiful One World Trade Center. And the past couple days, it's been so cloudy and so much overcast that you weren't able to see it. But tonight's going to be a really clear night, so happy about that. XRP is here. What's up, XRP? Good to see you. Line Sync, trust you're well in the UK. Iran says hello, guys, good to see you. Sandra says hey, how are things going out there? Things are going, I mean, it was a good day today in Manhattan. Although it is a little bit cold, tomorrow it's going to be 50 degrees. So it's only one day of being 20 degrees. So I mean, we could live through that. I think we'll be good. Now we're coming up on 32nd Street, which is Koreatown. You know, since we're here, I think we got to do one lap through Koreatown. I think it's been about a month since we have done that. Here's another look at the Empire State Building. Hey, Rainbow says hello, Tom from Canada. Good to see everybody. Long Island Ducks, Tom, it's going to be warmer tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's going to be 50.
Let's find out how long it takes, right?
Well, at least let's hope it'll be 50. Hopefully the sun will come out too. But yeah, if we have time tonight, I want to try to walk all the way downtown. Check out 130 William. Now, there's a lot of other projects that I'm really excited about in the city too. But for whatever reason, 130 William really caught my eye. You know, if I was in the market for a renter, if I was a renter or I was looking to purchase, I think that building would probably be pretty high on the list, to be honest. But we'll see if we can make it. We'll try to put some pep in our step. We'll cross here, right outside of the Herald. Hey, RJ says, hola, Tom from Colorado. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Sandra says, God, snow here in Massachusetts all day. Now, you have a pretty good view of the Bank of America Tower. Oh no, I think we may cross directly in the path of the screaming guy again. Hey, Steph UH says, hey, Tom and everybody, just got back from date night. Ah, very nice. Very cool. Hope you had a good time. Now, I went to a good place tonight. I guess I'll recommend it. They're all over the city, but it's called Dim Sum Sam. It's right near Madison Square Park. Really good. Really, really good stuff. And it's not, the prices aren't too bad. It's not as cheap as Chinatown prices. For those of you who are familiar with Chinatown, we always talk about, you know, my favorite restaurants there, but for Madison Square Park, 24th, 23rd Street. It's not so bad. But guys, we are now officially in Koreatown. This is one of the major hotspots in New York City for nightlife, especially on the weekends too. I see my friend Colleen is here. Says hello, Tom. Good to see you, Colleen. Gabe says I can't get enough of Manhattan pizza. I'm telling you, next time you're in New York, check out Mel's. And if you guys actually want to go there, what I would do is send me an email first, tell me you're going there so I can make sure that my friend really blows it out for you guys. Cynthia B says New York looks beautiful tonight and it's cold. You know, I think it was colder earlier today. When I was out walking around, it was probably like 24 degrees. I was freezing. But I think it's going to warm up throughout the night. And tomorrow it's going to be 50. So talk about temperature changes and temperature swings. I'm all bundled up, you know. For me, the only way that I really get sick, guys, is if the temperature is so volatile, right? And for me, I'm coming from 85 degrees, then it was 30 degrees, then it was 40, then it's 20 today, then it's going to be 50. I mean, that's how you get sick. So I am bundled up, best believe. I'm seeing a lot of Bleecker Street pizza is the best. It's all right. Bleecker Street's not bad. So I'll show you guys over here. This is the Tout de Jour. Now, many people think Tout de Jour is a French bakery. It's not. Well, it's Korean bakery. And also there's another one down here, but on the right side of the street, that many people mistaken as a French bakery too, but it's actually a Korean chain. Hey, Robert is here. Good to see you, Robert. Thank you so much for being here. Musa Perez says Koreatown is always busy with great food. Really good food here. I used to actually go shopping right here at the H Mart. But right now we're going to walk past some pretty good Korean barbecue spots. So maybe we'll be able to look at some menus, but I'd say I've been to most. I've been to most places here on 32nd Street. But you guys know my two favorites. Now, my two favorites are pretty pricey, to be honest, but I think it's worth it. Now, the first one is called Take 31, so Take 31, and then the second one is literally next door. I think the owner is the same. It's called Her Name is Han. However, if you want to go there, you probably got to make a reservation at least 2 or 3 days in advance. You know, if you're planning like a business trip with a lot of people, I would even go as far as 2 weeks in advance. Now, if you look across the street, this is another very good bakery. It's called Grace Street. Very good. They also have pretty good boba here too. I'm not sure if we have any fans of boba, but I'm a huge fan of that. Hey, David S. Good to see you. Says love seeing those Red Sox hats here in New York City. Love that. Now, since the spring is coming, I do a little bit of journaling. I know it's kind of corny, but I do. Here's the Empire State Building here. I think one of the things I want to do this spring is get to a baseball game. You know, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, look, I live in one of the greatest cities on earth, right? New York City, and I very seldom do I ever go to any sporting events. So I want to go to Yankee Stadium this year. I want to go to see a Mets game. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to. Doesn't matter who they play. You guys know I'm not like a huge baseball fan or anything, but it's fun. It's fun. And, you know, COVID is in the rear view mirror now. So I want to get back to the Bronx. I want to go to Yankee Stadium. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the spring. I'm excited for the winter to get the hell out of here, which seems that way. It's going to be 50 degrees tomorrow. This is what I was talking about, everybody. So Paris Spaghetti. A lot of people mistaken it for a French bakery, but it is actually a Korean chain. A lot of people don't know that, but it is true. Hey, Cosmo Scary says they changed the rule in baseball and the game should be a lot faster. Really? I didn't know that. What did they change? They changed the amount of innings or something that are in the games? Tom from Midtown says the best baseball games in the city are at the Coney Island, or the Coney Island Cyclones, complete with fireworks on the ocean. Now, Tom from Midtown, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Long Island also has a baseball team, right? Now, what are they called? I think it's the Long Island Ducks. Do they still exist? Now, the only reason why I remember that is I remember as a little kid, I think I went to a Long Island Ducks game with my cousins, but I don't even know if they exist anymore, do they? Any baseball fans, could you confirm or deny that? Do the Long Island Ducks still exist, or are they a thing of the past? Hey, Sharon Lee is here. Says if you learn how to snowboard or ski, you might enjoy winter. That's true, and I think that's probably why I don't like winter, Sharon. I'm not a big skier, I'm not a big snowboarder. I'd just much rather be out in the sun. You know, I'd much rather be at Jones Beach, Robert Moses, Tobay. I'm not sure if any Long Islanders here, but Tobay Beach is one of my favorite places on earth. Hey, Daniel is here. Says they don't exist anymore. They waddled away. Hilarious. Ethan G says, do you ever watch hockey or football, Tom? No, I don't. But I want to try to get into hockey, because I think I'm squandering away a pretty big opportunity here, right? I was thinking about it the other day. I think that was a rat that just popped out of the garbage, so maybe I'll keep walking here. I was thinking about it. I'm like, look, I literally live next to the best sporting venues in the world, right? Arguably. And I never go. I never bother to go. So I want to see a Rangers game in MSG. I haven't done that. So, all right, speaking of K Barbecue, we are on the corner of 32nd Street and 5th Avenue now. This is actually one of my favorite views of the Empire State Building here. Looking great. But my favorite K Barbecue place in the city is right over here. It's called Baekjung. Very expensive though, but I think it's worth it, especially if you're going on like a big team outing for work. That is a very fun place to go to. Yeah, Hawaii is like, man, Tom, you got to go to a Rangers game. I know, I really have to. I want to go to a Knicks game. Guys, I'm horrible. I think the only sporting events that I've really been to, I mean, obviously I've been to a Yankee game, but I would say what I do most often is actually go out to Harrison, New Jersey. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar, but there's Red Bull Arena is located in Harrison, New Jersey. So sometimes I'll take the train out there to see a soccer game. But, you know, NYCFC does play in Yankee Stadium, so definitely a little bit closer too. Who knows? Yeah, Ryan Bex, it seems like Madison Square Garden is due for $1 billion overhaul. Now, oh, you know what I would love to see? Because I've been getting a lot of advertisements for the UFC. Has anybody else been getting that, or is it just me? I am getting hammered by YouTube advertisements for the UFC and like boxing events. I would love to watch a UFC event in Madison Square Garden. And I'm not a big like fighter guy, like it's not really my thing, but the YouTube ads have me line, sink, and hooker. I mean, line, sink, and hook, or whatever it's called, whatever that acronym is. I would love to see that. Now, I think they're expensive, unfortunately. I think the tickets are well over, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for the UFC. Roberts has never seen you film from the Bronx. No, I probably won't be filming from the Bronx. Yeah, I probably won't be filming from the Bronx. Tom from Midtown, since the ultimate MSG experience is Billy Joel. He performs there at the Garden every month. That is something I'd be interested in too. Unfortunately, I've never seen that either. And Billy Joel is one of my great favorites. Oh, that's right. Ryan Beck says it's cool, but it's probably weird with no commentary. Yeah, because you're not going to hear Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan does the main commentary for the UFC. That is kind of weird. I never... hook, line, and sinker. That is it. NAV407. Thank you so much. Long time no see, by the way. Thank you for joining. So I took a little bit of a detour down here, not to rush the stream, but I haven't given these two recommendations in a while. Now these are by far the two best Korean spots in the city, hands down. And you'll notice there's already a line out the door. You can't just show up, you do need a reservation here. So it's Take 31, and then her name is Han. And they are right next to each other. I think as we get a little bit closer, maybe you guys will be able to see just how packed it is in there. And it's actually right where the office is. Man, that's a lot of garbage bags though. You guys see? Right across the street. That's Take 31. It is so packed. It looks like there's a party of 4 waiting to be seated. It's probably going to be packed all night too. And then right across the street, this is Her Name is Han. This is also a very, very good place. Valor Rabbits, as I saw an ad for SoFi, thoughts on the new banking app thing. You know, I'm not a fan of those sort of online banking applications. I think a lot of them, in my personal opinion, I'd stay away from them. Look at all the trash piled up. And yeah, especially with SoFi, I'm just not a big, I don't really want to go on a big rip, but I would say I'm not a fan. Definitely not a fan of SoFi. For various reasons. Yeah, Walking Minnesota says don't get Tom started on SoFi. Hilarious. Hey, Julia M. Welcome, Julia. This is most fun boxing match is Police versus Firemen at Madison Square Garden. You know, I think they do the hockey game too, the annual hockey game. FDNY versus NYPD. That'd be fun to see in person too. Hey, Abdullah's joining us. Good to see you, Abdullah. So we're gonna make a left on 5th Avenue and we are gonna head all the way down to the Village now. I just wanted to quickly show you guys Koreatown as well as point out those 2 restaurants. Hey, Vinny Castellano, our good pal from Staten Island. Now, speaking of baseball, isn't there a baseball team, a minor league baseball team based in Staten Island too? Kevin is here, says, hey Tom, what's up Kevin? Good to see you. Now, last week on Wall Street, guys, you know, I got a lot of emails this week from people saying, you know, Tom, you were really, really hammering talking about real estate this week. You know, and they're like, the show is Walks in Wall Street, like making a joke. But guys, you know, the housing market is so important to the health of the overall economy. And last week, we got 2 major pieces of economic data. This lobby looks incredible here. This is 295 5th Avenue. We got existing home sales, which we did an in-depth dive into that report. Cratered again, absolutely decimated, falling off a cliff for the 12th month in a row. However, new home sales actually ticked up a little bit. And we were sort of, you know, guessing why new home sales are holding up a little bit better relative to existing home sales in terms of transaction volume. And in my view, I think it's because there's a lot more dealing that can be done. If, like, let's say if you're buying a new home from Toll Brothers or KB Home or something like that, you know, they could either buy down the points on your mortgage, they could get a little bit more creative to help out the buyer, right? A lot of other contingencies can be done that really can't be done in some ways in existing home sales. And if you think about it, you know, just to quickly make a point and then we'll move on. You know, new home sales is a business, right? You have to think about it as a business. Toll Brothers, these companies are businesses, and it's obvious, and they know how to move inventory, they know how to move product, so they can discount, they can get aggressive to move product, right? With existing home sales, you know, people throw out these wishful pricing, And if they don't get it, they'll throw a fit and say, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to remove the house from the market. I don't really need to sell it right now anyway, because, you know, I still have debt on the house and my rate is well below 5%, right? Even the Toll Brothers CEO, he said on the earnings call, he said, you know, 85% of Americans who have a mortgage right now have an interest rate below 6%, right? And if the average 30-year fixed right now is 6.8%, well, a lot of people are really, really eager to hold on to their cheap debt, so to speak. You know, even if you do make a couple $100,000 on the house, you know, it's very hard to upgrade because your monthly payment is probably even going to be more. Oh, check out this dog. There's a jacket on. But tomorrow we're going to get a little bit more top heavy, speaking about the market. We're going to talk about valuations on a forward PE basis. But also last week we did hear from Walmart and we did hear from Home Depot. I think that's a Tesla over there. And next week we are going to hear from Target. So my eyes will be peeled on that. You know, I think the most interesting thing about Walmart's earnings report, in my view, is that the CEO says they continue to see more business from higher net worth individuals, right? So stealing market share from the likes of Whole Foods. And I think that's really a testament to, you know, inflation is still a problem in the United States, and it's even pinching people, you know, that make $100,000 a year plus household income. Another gorgeous view of the Empire State Building here. Hey, ATC is here. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you, ATC. I see my friend Mike C. Welcome. Brendan O'Brien says, yeah, the real asset a lot of times is the mortgage. Valor Abbott says, Tom, what vehicle brand is your favorite? Tesla. Tesla is by far my favorite. Now, speaking of Tesla, everybody, next week is Tesla's Investor Day. Is that right? Could anybody confirm that? I think I read that. Yeah, I think the Investor Day is next week. I think. Now, I'm looking forward to that. We'll probably cover that on the live stream too, but you know, speaking of EVs, Lucid bombed earnings. Lucid Motors, you know, went public via SPAC, and now the company is a single-digit penny stock. So we're crossing East 27th Street. Hey, Victor says, hey, Tom from Seattle. Tom, you were the best streamer from New York. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much, man. Thank you for the compliments, and please, hopefully you'll visit us soon right here in New York City. I'd love to have you here. Bree says, I got an electronic license plate, and people give me more following distance because it looks weird. Really? I'm not even sure that'd be legal in New York. Now, a little bit off topic, but it kind of piggybacks off of what Bree Grams is saying. Now, has anybody seen this guy? I think there's like a group of people in New York that are going around with like magic marker or Sharpie, penciling in people's license plates. Now, I don't really know how to explain this or if I'm explaining it right, but I think what people have been doing is scratching off the blue in the license plate, so like scratching off the number, so it's a little bit difficult for, you know, police cameras to, you know, snap a photo of it or something like that. I've been seeing a lot of that stuff going around on Twitter. I don't know how I feel about that. Hey, War Walker says, Tom, I took a Tesla Uber last week. Amazing car and very futuristic. Love that. Yeah, I've been in a Tesla Uber once. I have yet to be in one of the Tesla yellow cabs, but they're awesome. They're awesome, man. Hey, DM says, Wednesday, March 1st is the Tesla Investor Day. Thank you, DM. Yeah, we'll probably do a deep dive into that for sure. George is... you became wealthy with Tesla in 2020. Love that. We have a lot of people here from Buenos Aires. Good to see everybody. So right now, we are walking past Madison Square Park. Mighty Bull, what's up? Good to see you. I always joke that Madison Square Park has its own mini skyline here. Look at this guy, this golden retriever. I think they just redid the dog park here too. Now you'll notice a very famous building right across the way. This is the Flatiron building. And yes, the bummer, it does have scaffolding on it, as you see. Just like, almost seems like every building in the city has scaffolding on it now, which kind of sucks. Joe Driver's team, I just heard of California kids blocking the highways performing sideshows. Weird, I haven't heard of that. Sideshows? Oh, what do you mean, like doing burnouts, things like that? Hey, Greg. Says, Urbanist did a stream there yesterday. He mentioned to watch you. You know what? It's good that you mentioned that, because I was thinking of the person or where I recognized 130 William from, and it was from the Urbanist channel. You reminded me. So thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, I think that is the first time, or, well, I should say that's how I had 130 William on my radar. I got a YouTube recommended video from the Urbanist exploring cities, and he was actually doing like a what's it called? Not a tour, but like an in-depth, almost like a mini docu-series on the building. And man, are the views crazy from there, man. I would love a place in that building. I may get one, who knows? Hey, Zada is here. This is Tom, good to see you. Welcome. Now right over here is Italy. Now I was going to eat here today. I actually walked in, but guys, it was overflowing with tourists. It was like just unreal. So I decided to pass on that, and then I went to Dim Sum Sam, which is a very good place, very affordable, right over here. And you know, as we've been talking about, you know, non-farm payrolls here in the United States with hospitality and restaurant workers adding the most jobs, I can definitely see why. I mean, the demand is sick, especially on the weekends. Italy was packed. You know, as we walk through the village, you know, we'll just do some impromptu market research here. But guys, everybody's eating out. Like, it just makes me chuckle a little bit, because I'm sure all of you remember during the pandemic. Well, let me cross the street here. I'm sure all of you remember during the pandemic when everyone was like, you know, the city's it's dead, you know, nobody's gonna come back. You know, fast forward almost 3 years now. Now, I would agree that the city's not the same in the sense of commercial real estate, right? We're already starting to see some just cataclysmic catastrophes in the commercial space. But if you're talking about like tourist activity, you know, people going to eat out, I would actually think it's probably stronger than pre-pandemic. Just from, you know, eyeballing it and seeing, you know, people walk around, and, you know, the waiting list to get into restaurants, things like that. You know, and it's gotten so crazy now. And I think Dan Zhang may have been the first one to point this out to us here on the team. But I think it was him, or maybe it was Teresa Diaz, I don't know. Anyway, the MTA, speaking of the MTA, 23rd Street Station, uptown in Queens, R&W train, they may rearrange some of the subway schedules to accommodate the new trends of foot traffic, right? So what we're seeing is more subway ridership on the weekends as opposed to on the weekdays, which is totally the opposite of what we used to see. We used to see massive subway ridership during the weekdays, right? Obviously Monday through Friday, because of everybody commuting in from Long Island, from New Jersey, from Pennsylvania, Connecticut. But ever since remote work and hybrid work, we're actually seeing more people choosing to come into the city on the weekends just to hang out, walk around, and go out to eat. So they may actually change up the subway schedules. All right, here we are. We are now standing directly across the street from the beautiful Flatiron Building. This is arguably one of the greatest views of the Empire State Building you could see from the ground floor in the city. Eve Long, what's up? Says moving to New York this year, Tom. So exciting. Looking at Astoria, the Bronx, and the East Village. Oh my gosh. Eve, I got a recommendation for you, okay? You got to look on the Upper West Side as well, okay? You are not going to be disappointed if you just begin your search on the Upper West Side. Now, I'll give you a couple streets, okay? Look between 68th Street. You know, actually, I'll knock it down a bit. 66th Street all the way up to about 90th. I think, you know, I don't know if you've been here a bunch of times and you sort of know the locations, but I think you may get an even better deal on the Upper West Side, and I think you're going to fall in love with the neighborhood. Hey, PB on the go. This is Hey Tom in chat. Do you ever go down to Warren Street in the financial district? Well, we may go down there tonight, maybe. It depends on if we have time. And it also depends on if the battery holds up. It is kind of cold out tonight. It's like 26, 27 degrees out, so usually the battery drains a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I would love to get down to the financial district more often. The only thing is during the weekdays, I tend to have a lot of meetings and things in Midtown, but who knows, maybe we'll make it all the way down there tonight. It just depends on how fast I walk. But now we are crossing East 21st Street, headed down Broadway. Hey, YTTV, this is Tom. It's 33 degrees currently. Dan Zhang says, Tom, Bill Burr has a joke. The bigger the street number in Manhattan, it gets the more dangerous. Hilarious. Hilarious. Well, Delancey Street can get a little bit crazy, can get a little bit rowdy over there. Oh, War Walker, is this your old neighborhood? Is this your old stomping grounds? Beautiful stranger, my friend. This is a good evening from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome. You know, I was in Nashville once. I liked it. Really quick, I got to point out this. This is Okta. This is actually a cybersecurity company. It trades under the ticker symbol OKTA. Now, it's kind of strange to have an office on the ground floor here, but I think it's kind of unique. So Okta actually specializes in a very specific type of cybersecurity, and the acronym is IAM. It stands for Identity and Access Management. Oh, look at these two dogs here. Beautiful, beautiful, and they have shoes on. The dog's got better shoes than me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Identity and Access Management. So if you want to think about competitors, you could think about Ping Identity. Now, Ping Identity also used to trade publicly under the ticker symbol PING. I actually went on multiple rounds of interviews with that company. They're a Denver-based cybersecurity company. However, they were just taken private by Thoma Bravo, which is Orlando Bravo's private equity firm. I have a lot of respect for Orlando Bravo, very sharp guy from Puerto Rico. Incredible success story, multi-billionaire. I actually met him briefly. This was actually this time last year, funny enough, in Miami Beach, right at the Miami Convention Center. He was actually one of the keynote speakers at the Bitcoin conference. I see Gabe. Welcome, Gabe. Thanks for joining us. ATC. Yeah, so if you guys saw that very big, almost like a very fluffy white dog, I think that it's actually a Korean dog, correct? I think those dogs are actually from Korea. Hey, Dan Hooper, what's up? This is Hey Tom, Dan from Texas. I hope to see you last May in New York City. Well, let's hope so. I should be here in New York in May, I think. Oh, look at this. Check out the clouds. This is a pretty nice contrast here. Now, the reason why I wanted to take you guys downtown, I would say below 24th Street, is because we've been doing these live streams, well, over the past week in Midtown, you know, Billionaires Row, you know, where all the big, you know, office towers are and big, you know, residential, you know, luxury apartments are. And this is actually a very nice contrast. You know, I think I like the architecture a lot better down here. And as we continue further down, maybe we'll even get into Soho tonight, who knows. You know, some of these buildings are over 80 years old. Some of them over 100 years old. And a little bit older than that. And I don't know, I just like the feel a little bit better. It's, I feel like if, you know, when I'm walking down 6th Avenue between 42nd Street and 57th Street, I feel like stressed out. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just, you know, everybody's hustling, bustling between all the major investment banks, all the major consulting firms, all the big tech companies like Salesforce, you know, Datadog. It just is like everybody is so, you know, run and gun. And as you come down here, it's like, all right, I get a break for a little bit. And I think that's why, as we go to Greenwich Village, the rents are very expensive down there, for good reason. Hey, Tom G, what's up? Good to see you, Tom. Long time no see, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Carlos is over 100 years and still making money, for sure. Joe Driver, welcome, the Mighty Bull. Always a pleasure to see you.
I mean, I knew he like felt horrible or whatever, but I was
Gary Carpenter, good to see you. My friend TD, Teresa Diaz. Kevin Ramsey says hello, Tom, and everybody. What's up, Kevin? We'll wait till this guy goes, Uber driver. Arsenal Fan 13 says, Tom, will you ever get to take us to the Upper West Side one of these days? You rave about that neighborhood so much, it has to happen. It does have to happen. Man, I'm so cold. I gotta look at the FDNY coming here. Man, that was a loud siren. Usually they're not that loud. So anyway, yeah, back to the Upper West Side. Guys, we tried to go to the Upper West Side last time we were in New York, and the freaking internet didn't work for whatever reason. I don't know why. Like, it started buffering the entire time. But yes, you're correct, Arsenal fan. We got to get up there. I think we've done streams up there before. I've taken you guys to the Dakota Apartments, which is, I think, Mark Davis, if he's in the chat, from Canada. From Toronto, rather. I think that's his favorite place. It's one of my favorite places too. But yeah, I mean, maybe we'll give it a go next week. We'll see if the internet is up to the task, but for whatever reason, there's a lot of buffering there. I don't know why. All right, team, we have now made it to Union Square. Now, we were talking about February is now come and gone. Well, a couple more days, but who cares? We'll forget about that. In the spring, you're going to have the Union Square Farmers Market, spring and summer. That's actually one of my favorite things to do in New York. I'm sure many New Yorkers who are watching this would agree with me. So, right here, Union Square goes from about East 17th Street, Barnes & Noble's right here, all the way down to East 14th. And the farmers market is always a really good time. I'm sure you guys have seen the Winter Village here, or like the Union Square Winter Market, but now that is gone. So hopefully by late April we'll be back. Hey, Ralph is here. Says, hey Tom, hello from Windsor, Ontario. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, Ralph. Welcome, welcome. J9 says, I'm wearing headphones. That siren just melted my brain. Yeah, it blew my brains off too, and I was standing right next to the truck. Usually they're not that loud, you know, but the fire truck guys, if you rewind, that fire truck looked crispy as hell, didn't it? That was like a pristine, it probably is brand new. Probably is a brand new fire truck, as to why it's probably really loud. Hey, Iris Lewis here, good to see you. Mike C, this siren was still not as loud as the guy we heard earlier. Yeah, that is true. The guy we heard earlier was on 34th Street, hollering about something. Sunshine after rain. Yeah, I mean, go back and rewind it. The fire truck, usually they look beat up, right? Obviously, because, the FDNY are doing God's work out there. Looked like a brand new truck. Speaking of brand new things, guys, you're never going to believe this, okay? So hold on to your chair, wherever you're watching Walks on Wall Street from. I don't want you to fall out of your chair. But I actually took the subway today. I know, easy, calm down. Yes, I did take the subway today, and I was in one of the brand new subway cars. And I got to give New York credit. Those things are amazing. Super clean, fantastic, brand new. And if we can get to the point in the city where we swap out all of the horrible subway cars for those new ones, dude, I mean, that's going to be a game changer. That's going to bring back a lot of riders. Seriously, really, really nice stuff. All right, speaking of subway, here is the main entrance to the Union Square subway station. You can get the NQRW, L4, 5, and 6 trains. Mel says, usually don't take the subway, question mark. That's one of my favorite parts of New York City. Wow, that's a unique comment. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't really have any reason to go to the boroughs anymore, right? So in my previous company, I was taking the subway all the time because, believe it or not, I actually used to work in East New York a lot. So right there on Gates Avenue in East New York, and if you continue to walk up, you'll hit Williamsburg, and you'll notice right in that vicinity there is a lot of the major home health care agencies in New York. So one of the things that I would do right in my previous company is sell them software and telecom for the home health aides to clock in and out. So EVV solutions, electronic visit verification. So I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. So as you can imagine, oftentimes I'd actually take the Long Island Railroad to Atlantic Terminal, Brooklyn. No, excuse me, not Atlantic Terminal. What I would do is I would take the LIRR to Nostrand Avenue, then I would either walk up to Gates Avenue or I would take the subway. I think it was the J train, I think. But yeah, I mean, but now that I'm not doing that anymore, there's just really no reason for me to take the train. I stay around Manhattan, 34th Street, I walk up to 57th Street. Now, if I even want to, I could take the LIRR to Grand Central Terminal, which is really convenient. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really spend much time in the boroughs anymore, so very seldom do I go. Yeah, War Walker says the smells are the worst in the subway. You're right. Hey, Robert Parker says the Long Island Railroad begins full service out of Grand Central Station very soon. I think I saw that too, but the weird thing, here's another location of Little Italy Pizza, by the way. But we actually went into Grand Central Terminal, if you guys remember. I think it was actually 2 days ago. And I think they closed the east side access at 9 p.m., which doesn't really make any sense because, chances are, right? And I don't really like to assume, but I'm going to assume anyway. If you're taking LIRR from Long Island to the east side, Grand Central, it probably means you work in and around Park Avenue. And, you could put 2 and 2 together there. You probably work on Wall Street or in finance or in tech at some type of tech firm or maybe a big law office. And, yeah, usually you start to get the train home at like 9 o'clock at night. you know, at least, you know, a lot of my friends. But Jafet says the 7 train is not working on the weekends. Really? I used to take the 7 train all the time when I used to live in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I think I told you guys this a million times. You know, I think we may cross the street because there's so much scaffolding here. It's blocking your guys' view of One World Trade Center. But yeah, when I used to live in Greenpoint, I actually would take the 7 train from Grand Central to Vernon Jackson, which is Queens. I know what you're thinking, like, Tom, that's Queens. What do you mean? Hold on. Then I would walk over that bridge. I think it's called the Pulaski Bridge. And I will say this, it is gorgeous in the summer and in the spring, but in the winter, whew, it's tough. It's tough living in Greenpoint if you need to commute to Manhattan every day. It's very difficult. Because that walk over the bridge, when it's 20 degrees out and it's 30-mile-an-hour winds, it's not a fun time. Not a fun time. All right, guys, we have a clear night, clear view. The gorgeous One World Trade Center right here. Steph UH says, what is the reason for so much scaffolding? Well, I think it's, I think the main reason, right, and I'll say allegedly, just because I don't want to get in trouble here. You know, if the building, if an inspector or something like that, or anybody, what is the department called? Building Code Department, New York City Building? I don't know the exact name, but a lot of these older buildings, you know, they have these all brick and mortar sort of like moldings all around. And a lot of it can come loose and fall onto the sidewalk, and it can be a huge liability. So they get slapped with fines. So in order to avoid actually fixing the building and fixing the problem, if they just leave scaffolding up, that'll bring it up to code. And one of the biggest problems in New York, especially on the Upper West Side, is a lot of these apartment buildings have had scaffolding on them for over 8 years. I mean, imagine living in an apartment and your view is just scaffolding. But it's the owner's way of sort of putting off or kicking the can down the road on those necessary repairs. So I don't know how I feel about it, but it's definitely kind of a hassle walking through all the scaffolding. Doesn't really look good, but then again, who am I to tell the owner of a building what he can and can't do, or what she can or she can't do? Who knows? Hey, Drums Only is here. Good to see you. Edward Adams is just for tonight. Oh, they're running from, until 11 p.m. at Grand Central Station. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Line Sync says, I wonder if Miami's buildings will have as much scaffolding in, say, 75 years from now. Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing about Miami, right, is it's a relatively new city, right, on a relative basis. So if you think about a lot of the high-rises, it's a lot of newer buildings. So I'm not going to say I don't see scaffolding down there, because we do, right? You guys see it on the live stream. We see it a lot. But it's mainly outside of new development projects, not necessarily older style buildings. Now, additionally, I will say this. Some of the buildings, I would say the condominiums, that may be a little bit older, now that that horrible, horrible tragedy of the Surfside tragedy happened, the city of Miami, Miami-Dade County, and even Broward County, if you go all the way up, are getting very, I should say, strict on the regulations to bringing these buildings up to code. So a lot of them are in such disrepair that they actually make the tenants move out and they demo the entire building. And I was talking about this with one of my good friends who actually works at a firm called Berkadia down there. He helps, in very large multifamily transactions. And he was actually, and again, this is just what we think, right? It's not what's gonna happen. Awesome dog, 9 out of 10 on that one. Actually 10 out of 10, might as well. It's Saturday. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think this is gonna be a big opportunity for new developers, to swoop in there and say, hey, we'll do a buyout to all the existing tenants in there. We don't want to do the repairs. We'll just demo the whole thing and build a super luxury, super tall. I think you're going to start to see that, especially Sunny Isles Beach, Mid Beach, North Beach, and even Surfside too. I think we're probably going to see that as we go on down there. So yeah, FredEx is huge night for huge night for dogs. Everybody's outside today. We are almost, well, I think we're pretty much here. This is the NYU neighborhood. This is East 9th Street. We're about to hit into the beautiful Washington Square Park, and then we'll make a right and continue on to the Village. Hey, Jay is here. What's up, Jay? Oh, we're in your neighborhood. Very nice. Always love coming down here. You know, I do have to give the NYPD a big pat on the back here, because I used to spend a lot of time in Washington Square Park, and the northwest side of Washington Square Park, mess, okay, with drugs and, you know, all, you know, derelicts and people. They cleaned it up. It's actually really nice now. They kicked everybody out. Any of those New Yorkers, especially people who live in the neighborhood, Washington Square Park is beautiful, but there's that troubled northwest part of the park where a lot of dealers hang out, a lot of the homeless hang out and heckle people, but they actually cleaned it up. It's actually pretty nice now. Hey, Fun Feeds. They just found an apartment, but it's going to take a month for the government. Oh, it's a Section 8 housing apartment. Interesting. Billy is here. Says, hey, Tom and everybody. Good to see you. Dave says, Tom, what's going on in Times Square right now? I'm not too sure. I think we had our fill of Times Square for the week. I went there twice. And I'm not sure I'll be back anytime soon. Maybe on the next New York trip we'll be back. But speaking of NYU, these are the dormitories, especially that one over there. So a lot of the students hang out here. And in this area, New York University actually owns the vast majority of the buildings that we're walking past too. So NYU has a pretty big vested interest in this area for obvious reasons. Now we may pass by the NYU Stern building, and oftentimes we'll talk about one of my favorite professors, Professor DeMonaran. He has two main courses that are rather famous actually, and I'm actually quite pleased with NYU because the courses were so sought after that they actually made the decision to open up those courses for the public for online learning, which I think was the right thing to do. One of which being securities analysis, and the other ones being valuation by DeMonaran. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. Professor DeMonaran, he's considered the dean of valuation. Now, I would like to say he is an academic, right? So I think it's extremely important to learn from both, right? People that are academics and then people who are actually putting it in practice and managing money. I think it's good to learn from both. So if you want to buy the textbook, it's actually pretty affordable online. I think I may have bought mine off of Amazon. So if you go to Amazon used book section, you could probably get Valuation by DeMonaran. I don't know, maybe $30, maybe $30. So if you want to learn the appropriate way to, evaluate a business, how to build a, something in the industry we call discounted cash flow model, or DCF, just buy that book. Also, DeMonaran, it's really cool. He posts a lot of his lectures on YouTube for free. So in theory, you could actually take the time and go to his YouTube channel and consume what he is actually teaching the MBA students. So that just goes to show what value the internet has. And if you're very good at being an autodidact, right, being able to essentially teach yourself information with very little help, I think you're going to go a long way. All right, here we have it. We are at Washington Square Park. This is the very famous arc right here. Hey, Paul Meddes is here. What's up, Paul Meddes? G Long Walks says, how's the weather tonight in New York? A little cold. A little cold. Here we have the Empire State Building all the way to the north. But look at how gorgeous these buildings are. Really, really nice architecture. I could only imagine what the inside looks like. Now, speaking of the Upper West Side, there's a lot of the original brownstone buildings. So I told you my friend moved in there on 81st Street on the corner of Broadway and 81st. And he actually has a working fireplace in his apartment, which is unbelievable. Now, the rent is a little bit pricey. It's $3,100 a month for a one-bedroom. But, I mean, to be able to have a working fireplace in Manhattan, that's awesome. That's actually pretty cool. So I was there the other night. Hey, Optimus 17 is classic architecture. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. So here we are in the heart of the park. It's a little bit dead tonight because it's so freezing. But we are going to make our way over to the Village. I just wanted to give you guys a pretty nice view of One World Trade down here. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video, click the subscribe button if you're new here, and share the show with your friends. If you enjoy it, we'd love to have you guys back soon. Dusty Cole says my wood stove is life. Love that. Man, wood stoves, that's really nice. That reminds me of being upstate New York or, you know, Adirondack, something like that. Hey, Cindy Foley says, I got mine burning now. Love it. All right, let's make a right. Now, you guys will notice sort of what I was talking about, right? How Washington Square Park was, especially at night, there was a lot of problems. But look at it now. They cleaned it up. They did a good job. Really nice. Ryan Beck says, yeah, it just makes me wonder how you don't see someone walking directly at you and you choose not to yield. Yeah, New York, I think people just become desensitized to things oftentimes, and they just don't really understand. So this is exactly what I was talking about, guys. You see this? We are now in the northwest part of the park, totally cleared out. It looks great. But before, let me tell you, okay, this was all addicts all over here. Shooting heroin, everything. But the NYPD absolutely, you know, came in here and did whatever they needed to do. And I think it really started when there was a big outcry from the community. And I remember it was actually made the news that the people who were living in all these apartments were like, look, you know, we're trying to, you know, take our kids on a, you know, a Sunday afternoon walk, and they're seeing, you know, people abusing drugs and stuff. You know, these people are wealthy, okay? Wealthy people down here. And there's nobody here. They cleaned it up. So, looks really good. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of wows in the chat because, you know, a lot of people here in the chat are from New York. And you guys know, I mean, if you were to walk here just a couple months ago, needles everywhere, open containers, alcohol everywhere, people just passed out all over. I mean, they did a phenomenal job. You know, I think, you know, it's easy, it's very easy for everybody to, you know, just dump on New York City and dump on the mayor, Eric Adams, and say, oh, he's an idiot, he's doing this. And I get it. Sometimes it's warranted. But as a New Yorker, it is also warranted to point out when things are improving. And this, like, my God, is this a night and day improvement? I mean, the city and the NYPD deserve a medal for this. I mean, this is spotless, okay? And maybe some of you guys, you know, who haven't been watching the stream long enough for, like, just looks like a park. Well, yeah, look, it looks like a park now. But before, this part was just, my God. And now, it's actually walkable. And there's no garbage on the floor. They did a fantastic job. See, the city's coming back. I told you guys, you got to be optimistic. You got to be headstrong on it. And look, it's a step in the right direction. And we're headed towards spring. And that means we may have to break out the skateboard again and cruise around the park. Just in time for them to repave the bike lanes, too. It looks like they actually just did this weekend. So all the bike lanes are new, headed down into the college town of NYU. That's actually where we're going to be headed tonight. Hey, David S. It's good to see you. All right, let's head into the village. I'll actually make a left here because there's tons of construction on that block. Hey, Ibrahim Azam is joining us from California. Good to see you, Ibrahim. I think we'll make a right here. Kinsanity says the question is, how long will it stay like that? That's a good point. I don't know. But it looks good. All right, I think there's actually a townhome right here on the left, guys. That's for sale, and I think the listing agent is Serhant. I'm sure all of you are familiar with Ryan Serhant. Their new office, by the way, is actually, I think we passed it multiple times, maybe not. I think I've pointed it out before. Or maybe it's sold. They used to have the sign right here. Let's see. Let's actually investigate that. They may have sold it. I mean, I could see why. Look at how beautiful the property is. Looks like the lights are on, so maybe they actually did sell it. Hey, MBA Elias, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? They didn't. It's the one at the end of the block. I was confusing the two. It's this one. You'll see it. Townhome for sale. Serhant.com. Maybe somebody could do a quick Google search to see how much it's listed for. But man, it looks beautiful. I really like the brick here and the windows, how it has a very dark black outline. Really makes the building pop from the street. I like the gate here. Hey, Arthur says this live is so cool. Thank you for joining us, Arthur. For those of you who are new here, we do these live streams about 5 days a week between New York City and Miami. Saturdays, which is today, we just sort of hang out, walk around the city, check things out. But during the weekdays, we cover the financial markets. Wow, Ryan Beck, 25 million. I was actually going to guess a little bit less than that. But 25 million, look, it's on Washington Place. I mean, you can't get a better location. You're literally right on Washington Square Park. West 4th Street's here. You have all the subways. Now check out all these buildings here with the fire escapes. This is real classic New York charm here. Wow, Ryan Beck says it looks insane on the inside. I'm gonna have to get you guys inside some of these. Stay tuned, stay tuned.
I'll see
Now, for 25 million, if I had to guess, it probably has a really nice backyard, and it probably even has a roof deck, if I had to guess. And the roof deck is probably all redone. It probably has like artificial turf on the roof. And I think the building's tall enough that you could actually have a direct view of One World Trade Center. So that's probably what tops it off at 25 mil. Well, let me see. Actually, maybe not. I don't think the building would be tall enough for that. I'll give it like a 50-50 shot that your roof deck is tall enough to see the World Trade Center. Okay, let's cross here. Hey, Paul says, what is the average rent for a decent 2-bedroom apartment in New York City? 2-bedroom apartment is probably going to cost you more than 6. But then again, New York City is very, very broad-based, right? We have multiple boroughs here in New York City. If you're talking about Manhattan and you want a 2-bedroom, then yeah, I would definitely say it's probably solid 6 or a little bit over. I think the average rent for a 1-bedroom in Manhattan, I think it actually came down a little bit. I think it's like $4,500, but still pretty expensive. Here you have the Empire State Building and then the One Vanderbilt to your right. Very clear night in Manhattan. Hey, Albany County Sheriff Lives says, my sister got home safe from New York City last night. Oh, that's right. She got stuck at the Moynihan train hall. I forgot. Well, that's good news. Good to hear that. Let's cross here by the Papaya Dog. And maybe we'll turn down Cornelia Street. Now, Cornelia Street's, and I just learned this, by the way, from many of you in the chat. I guess this is where Taylor Swift used to live, right here on Cornelia and West 4th. And we just so happened to be walking past the building, and I said, wow, there is a private garage in New York City. Somebody really important must live here. And I guess lo and behold, I think she moved out here, but I guess this was her apartment. I had no idea. But, yes, photos from around New York. This is Taylor Swift Street. We'll check it out. There's also some really other unique buildings on the block too, like this one. Let me just get out from under the scaffolding here. Now, how unique does this look? I love this building. I would live here in a heartbeat. It almost looks like, now if you guys were just looking at this shot, I don't think you guys could guess that we were streaming from New York. Maybe. I mean, maybe the New Yorkers could, but it's just so different. It's so unique from, you know, the 157s, the Steinway building, the 432 Park Avenue. These just have so much more character in my view. Beautiful fire escape. These are like little, those windows, guys, hold on, let's actually cross. If I could bet, those windows are probably the original windows. Would you guys say? Oh, that has to be. Yeah, those are probably the original windows. And I could tell because I have a very old house in Miami, Florida, and I have the original windows from the 50s. These are way older than that. Wow. That is so cool that they have the original windows. It's probably a little bit drafty in here, though, to be quite honest, but still. I mean, that's like living in a piece of history. I know Beautiful Stranger says that's gorgeous, isn't it? It's really unique, and that's what I really love about the city, right? Is you have so many different options. You know, if you want to live in this ultra glass Central Park Tower, you can. If you want to live in something from 100 years ago, you can. There's just so much diversity, architectural diversity, I would say. All right, where is the place that we're looking for? Here it is. Wow, 23 Cornelia Street. It looks like it's vacant though, to be honest. But could you imagine, now as a rule of thumb for all those people who are wondering, if you're walking down the streets of Manhattan, anywhere you are, and you see and you see a garage, a private garage for that matter, yeah, it's definitely very expensive. Now, I used to work on 83rd Street between Amsterdam and Columbus Avenue, and I used to live work right next to Seinfeld's garage. So if you've ever watched the show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, they actually film it as they pull out of his private garage right there on the Upper West Side. And it kind of looks like this, but a little bit smaller. But here it is for all the Taylor Swift fans. I had no idea this was here until the chat told me about it. So there you go. It is a quiet block though, guys. Notice how quiet it is. It's almost like we're not in Manhattan. Cool. Hey, Andy is here from South Korea. Good to see all of our Korean viewers. Welcome. So it's Sunday where you guys are, right? You're probably just getting up. This is one of the rare, very nice outdoor dining setups in the city. Usually a lot of them are broken down by now. This is a really nice setup too. Now this place is called Takombi. I'm not a huge fan of Mexican food, not a huge fan. I will get it sometimes, but this place is also on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. There's tons of locations throughout the city, but it's a little bit pricey. I think it's a little bit overpriced. I think you can get a better bang for your buck elsewhere, to be honest. But I'll make sure I say that a little bit softly because we're literally right outside the place. All right, Cornelia Street. We've officially reached the end. Oh, Jean Paul, is there really a Takombi in Miami? Where is that? I'm trying to guess where that would be. Definitely not in Brickell, because I've walked all over Brickell. Hey, Hawaii, this is Tom. I just read that Taylor Swift rented her place for $39,500 a month. Wow, I would have guessed more. Well, then again, I don't know how many square feet it is. So she bought it. I didn't know that. So she bought it and then rented it. Very cool. It's definitely a neighborhood where you want to be if you're a young professional and you're in your 20s, maybe, you know, lower 30s. You guys could tell it's really fun environment here for sure. Now this is John's, but here's the thing about John's at Bleecker. This is a fantastic pizza spot, probably one of the best in the city right here. It's on the corner of Jones Street. But here's the thing, you can't get individual slices here. You gotta get an entire pie. That's the only downside. So if you come here, and let's just say you're visiting New York City and it's just you, that means you gotta send me an email and invite me to help you finish the pizza. Because, look at how big the pies are. You notice everybody's sitting down as a group. That's the only thing that kind of stinks about it. No slices. It actually says it right here. But look, if you guys are visiting the city, I mean, I'm always around. You guys know. We'll even stop by on the stream if you want to invite us here. But let's push onward because we have a lot to cover. And I think the cold is going to eat away at the battery. Hey, Nina's here. What's up? Good to see you, Nina. Now, really quick, I guess, since we were talking about a lot of economic indicators, a lot of, I would say leading economic indicators last week, just notice what you're seeing as we walk around, right? A lot of the bars are absolutely packed. Almost every single place is jumping with people. You see this bar at the top, it's overflowing with people, right? And it just goes to fit the narrative that hospitality is doing really, really well in the United States, right? If you look at a lot of the individual hoteling stocks, right? Hilton Hotel, Marriott, they're all trading near the 52-week highs, near all-time record highs, and I could believe it. I mean, look, I would probably guess that 60% of the people who you see out here are probably, from New York or live in the area, but everybody else is definitely a tourist. That means they're either staying at Airbnbs, they're staying at hotels, they're spending money, they're stimulating the economy. So it's sort of interesting that we're starting to see layoffs tick up, right? In the news almost every day, it's like new tech layoff from a new tech firm. We see existing home sales roll over, but people are prioritizing going out and spending money on experiences. And I think that's just because there's still so much pent-up demand from COVID when they locked us down against our will for 2 years. Everybody wants to go out. Look at this place. I don't even know what it is, and it's packed. Let's actually cross the street because I'm curious about what that is. Hey, Daniel G says, hey Tom, how are you? Good evening, everybody. My good friend Daniel G from Buenos Aires, Argentina is here. Welcome, Daniel. You got to let me know next time you're in Miami. I'll take you to Little Buenos Aires. It's actually right near where I live. Okay, so this place is called Chip City. I guess it's a gelato or an ice cream place. It says cookies, coffee, milk. Cookies, coffee, milk, yeah. Interesting. It's open at 10 p.m. Fixed Images here says hello. Good to see you, Fixed Image. Beacon, New York says looks quiet for a Saturday night. Josie says, where are you, Tom? We are here on the corner of Barrow Street and 7th Ave South. So this is right near Bleecker Street Pizza. John's of Bleecker as well. But I'll take you guys around the block. These are some really nice buildings you'll see here. Now this is what I really, really like. Now look at the shutters here. It really makes the buildings pop, doesn't it? It really, really makes the buildings stick out. You have that very classic New York brick there. You have the gorgeous white outline on the windows, and then you have these really dark panels, the shutters, that really make the building pop from the street. Now these are very expensive, guys, for obvious reasons, but if I ever had the chance, I would definitely live in one of these. These are absolutely gorgeous. Hey Arthur, thank you so much for your very kind $5 donation. Says Tom, thank you for this stream. Fab and I will be there soon. This stream builds up the anticipation. Arthur, very happy to see that you're coming to New York, my friend. The city's back and better than ever, and it seems as if you're probably going to come during the best time of year, which is spring and summer, so that's awesome. And thank you for your very kind donation. Appreciate it very much. Wow, this is a really good shot of this one. I just love how the really, really dark black shutters make the building really pop out from the street. Ooh, Ryan Beck says, would you take one of these or the one of those spots by the river that had their own driveway? Oh, so you're talking about Sutton Place. Oh, that is such a good question. Oh, dude, that's tough. I don't know if I can answer that. I'll have to think about that. So, okay, what Ryan Beck is saying is, would you rather live in one of these down here in the Village or have your own place overlooking the 59th Street Bridge in Sutton Place? All right, on the spot, if I had to just quick guess, I'd say here, and I'd actually pick this one because the bookshelf is really catching my eye from the street here. But it's a tough choice. Hey, Kilo Juliet, thank you so much for your $10 donations. This is Tom for the Long Island Railroad ticket back to the island. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Kilo Juliet. Thank you for your kind donation. I will definitely use that for my LIRR ticket back home. But yeah, I mean, Sutton Place is a gorgeous neighborhood too. But the reason why I think I'd decide with one of these is because it's quieter, I think. You know, Greenwich Village is a very, very quiet place. Well, depending on where you are, right? You can go from Party City, where we were, and then you turn down one block, and then it is completely silent. It's almost a teeny bit reminiscent to Park Slope, but not really, but a teeny tiny bit. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'd prefer here as to Sutton Place. But Sutton Place is gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. But I think the street noise would be maybe too much for me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, Hawaii is like, I want to live in 130 William only. That's another good place. Gorgeous views of all the bridges. Now, if I did own a place here, I don't think I would have a car. I think I'd bring my Vespa from Miami, or I'd just buy another one. But then again, riding around on a scooter is probably not that fun in the winter here. Wow, look at this, guys. Look at this. This is another really gorgeous building, but look at the back side of this building. You can actually see right inside. The ceilings are they appear to be very tall, very high vaulted ceilings. You can sort of see the wood trimming. That looks really, really gorgeous. And these almost look like old horse stables, don't they? I think they actually were at one time. Wow, established in 1865. That gives you an idea of how old some of these buildings are. 1865. Wow. This is Bedford Street, for those of you who want to know exactly where we are. We are on the corner of Grove Street and Bedford. Look at this neat little house here on the corner. That's a pretty neat color scheme, isn't it? Hey, Evan Weeks, what's up, man? Welcome to the Village. We're checking out a different part of town. Usually we are in Midtown, but you know, it's Saturday. I thought we'd check out the Village. Looking at a lot of unique architecture here. You know, some of these buildings are over 100 years old. Really, really nice. Now, I think just from walking up on this place, this is just like so unique. And I think it's just because of the paint that the owner chose. It really stands out among all of the other buildings here. Let's actually cross. So it looks like there's almost like a little efficiency home here too. This is really cool. Yeah, Cindy Foley, it kind of looks southern, doesn't it? Especially with the star there too. Now, this reminds me a teeny bit, guys. Not like super, like a lot, but in Miami, we have a lot of this style where you have the main house and then you have the efficiency where it'll have like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and like a kitchenette for guests. And a lot of times people will actually use that for short-term rentals, like an Airbnb or a VRBO. It kind of looks the same, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this place is. I think just apartments, but it looks nice. Yeah, Beacon, New York, says Tom, I think you mentioned Watermill, Long Island. It looks like a very nice place to visit. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous place. My cousins used to have a house out there way back in the day. no longer. I mean, now anything in Watermill is, you're talking millions of dollars. Now, here's the only thing you got to worry about for those of you who are non-Long Islanders. Now, a lot of celebrities and a lot of people love to spend time on Long Island, especially in the summer, okay? But I'm going to give you a serious tip here, all right? If you're going to Suffolk County, out east on Long Island, Watermill, the Hamptons, you know, Sag Harbor, any of that area, you really got to watch out for the ticks. It is a huge problem, and a lot of people don't know about it. And I remember as a kid being out in Watermill, out in the Hamptons, and my parents would be like crazy, obsessed over, you know, if we went out in the woods, we would literally have to, you know, strip down, and they would search us for ticks because you can get Lyme's disease, you know, and it's a very big problem. Because if you think about the deer population on Long Island, they have nowhere to go, right? Literally, it's just the ocean, and they're not coming east, or they're not coming west for that matter, because then you hit into New York City. So there's nowhere for the deer population to go, so they get very, very sick. And when the ticks bite the deer, and the deer are sick, well, the ticks can jump on humans, and you can get Lyme's disease, and you could get very, very major complications. So if you're ever planning a trip out east on Long Island, take my advice and go buy yourself some tick spray, okay? Now, it's true, they actually do have tick spray. It may sound crazy, some of you have never heard this advice before, but take it from a native Long Islander. You really got to play it safe, because yeah, I know people personally who have Lyme's disease, and they have horrible complications even still, and it never goes away. So hey, Melissa 2087 says, my teacher in first grade died from Lyme's disease, very sad, so young. It's a very serious thing, and I have a theory, but I can't say if it's true or not. I heard that I think Justin Bieber got Lyme's disease, and the dates match up from when he was spending a lot of time out east. Now, I don't want to say that's the reason why, but a lot of celebrities come to the Hamptons, and then years later they're like, oh, I have Lyme's disease. That's exactly why. But these people from California or Canada, they don't know. But a lot of Long Islanders, we know, because it is a major problem. Oh, cool. Wolfgang Productions is my family. Has a house in Riverhead. Very nice neighborhood. I think Riverhead may be a little bit before Watermill, is that right? All right, let's cross Bleecker here. I kind of like walking these neighborhoods where it's very quiet. Yeah, Melissa 2087 says Bieber had face paralysis. Well, what it's called, it's actually called Bell's palsy. And the reason why I know that is because, again, I said, you know, my cousins had a house out there in Watermill, and my cousin got the same exact thing, got bit by a tick, and part of your face gets paralyzed. It's called Bell's palsy. Yeah, it's wild. It's really, really wild. So watch out. If you're going out to the Hamptons, you could have fun, right? Just put the tick spray on, that's all. Okay, West 10th. This is another nice building here, Bleecker Street, West 10th. Michael Joseph says cedar oil spray on your body also repels ticks. Kilo Juliet says I have cousins in Smithtown. Smithtown's a great place. It's very nice in the summer. MN says there's also a Lone Star tick whose bite can cause you to become allergic to meat. I did hear about that. All right, let's cross here. The battery is running a little bit low. I just will warn you guys about that, but
Yeah.
this is Sushi on Jones. That place is packed too. If you guys are enjoying the live stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. Share the show with your friends. We may go out of battery here in a moment, but we will be back here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. But we will stream until, I think those cops were looking for somebody actually, didn't it? It seemed like they were looking for somebody. There's a lot of people lined up across the street. This place is called Due West. There's literally a line out the door. Hey, Brick Stonewall, good to see you, sir. Now, tomorrow will be our Markets a Look Ahead live stream, where we will be going day by day and covering all the major events that will be happening next week on Wall Street. So thank God, February only got 2 days, or I should say 2 business days left. And then we will hear from the Institute for Supply Management as they release the PMI numbers. Now, this is the most critical leading economic indicator in my view. And over the past 2 months, the PMIs have actually turned negative. So we'll do a deep dive, I think on Wednesday. I think Wednesday is March 1st, if not Thursday? I don't know. Anyway, we'll do a deep dive regardless, as you guys know. I'll give you one more shot of the World Trade Center and then we will head uptown. That is a really nice shot. I don't know why the spire is green though. Fred X, God bless. All right, we'll cross. Somebody's asking about Tesla. Well, Tesla's investor day is Wednesday, I think. I think DM told us in the chat the investor day is Wednesday. And Elon Musk is supposed to announce something extremely big as it relates to sustainability or energy sustainability. So look, I'll probably watch the live stream and they'll probably stream it. Hopefully we can make it a couple more minutes here so I could drop you guys off near the train. Hey, Cooking is here, welcome. Exploration says yes, big news coming. I'm excited about it. Whew, man, it is cold. It's supposed to warm up though. It's supposed to be 50 degrees. But man, I'm frozen. Waverly Place. All right, team, I hate to do it. I really, really do. But I'm gonna drop you guys off here. I'm gonna cut you guys loose. But the good news is we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. New York time, live. You know, maybe we'll go down to Wall Street tomorrow. Who knows? You never know. Depends on the weather. But team, thank you so much for joining Walks on Wall Street tonight. I really do appreciate it. I'm wishing everybody a fantastic rest of the weekend. Please be safe if you're going out, if you're partying, if you're doing you know, whatnot, whatever you guys are doing. Just please be safe. That's all I ask. All right. So 45, thank you so much, my friend. Billy Johnson, Richard Vogel, Hollywood Bob, Arthur. Good to see you, sir. Thank you again, MBA Elias. Appreciate you as always. Gary Carpenter, Julia M, Dr. Longiz, Hawaii, Prince Ice, Dusty Cole, photos from around New York, Carlos, Muhammad, Abdullah, Jafet, Natalie, Wolfgang, appreciate you, Andy, John, and to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. Click the like button, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. God bless the United States.